In 1998, I brought Sol LeWitt back to Australia. It was 21 years after his first project, the Art Gallery, and at the NGV in Melbourne. The reason why I brought him back was on one of my visits to New York, I went to an exhibition at Ace Gallery, and there was a whole body of new work from Sol. Totally unexpected. His finely drawn work completely disappeared, and there were these sensuous, exuberant forms in black and in brilliant color, really like dancing forms. And I was completely taken. I asked Sol, would you come back to Australia and do an exhibition at the MCA instead? And because I kept in touch with Sol ever since our first project, he agreed. Now, the way Sol worked, we sent him all the dimensions of the MCA spaces, and he worked out what he would like to do. And by that time also, Sol didn't rely only on volunteers to paint it for himself, but he had trained people who knew exactly the way he wanted it, how many undercoats a wall needed, how many coats, what kind of paint to use. He was very particular. You could only use one paint from Switzerland, no other paint. A Korean-Japanese woman, one of his head assistants, came to Australia, and she recruited a number of helpers and installers from the MCA. We traced the forms that he wanted, and the wonderful, bold, colorful works and the black, shiny and matte forms, they all came to life. It was a magnificent exhibition, so different of the early works, which were also shown at the MCA. It reminded very much of Matisse paper cutouts, when late in life Matisse changed his style. Same happened with Sol. He stayed still to his simple forms and rigid formulas, but they became fluid and alive by the colors. The New York Times described the work as minimalism's finest hour. Maybe one of the reasons was that Sol got married late in life to a wonderful, vibrant, Italian background lady, and she brought a lot of joy and excitement to his life, and that really showed in his art. There's an old industrial complex where 96 of his wall drawings were created during his last few years. He died before it was completed, and they're on show for 25 years and takes up a whole building which is now turned into a museum. On his second visit to Australia in the 90s, he saw an exhibition of Emily Novara at the Art Gallery, and he was very taken by it. And he asked me, do I know where he can get a piece of her work? And I said, no, I don't, but I'll make some inquiries. So I found one gallery, and he bought a small drawing from her. And when he got back to the States, he said, John, I want to make you a proposition. I'll swap my works. If you collect, I leave it up to you what, but good indigenous art, and send it to me. And we had this going for several years till he died, is that he would send me a drawing and I would send him works by various indigenous artists. I got them mainly from Christopher Hodges at Utopia Gallery, who really knows about Aboriginal art. Actually, his collection of Aboriginal art was shown several times, and he donated them to a museum when he died.